So we've talked about the Pareto principle and about how to deliver business value with speed and agility. I want to talk today about the whole cycle of data to insight to action. There's a serious challenge which is still in front of us. Now, every organization has an enterprise data strategy. Certainly the large organizations around the world have an enterprise data strategy. It's either well formed or it's being formed. And we have lots of technologies, amazing technologies, enterprise data lakes. We've got the analytics and visualization technologies. We've got process mining. We've got process specific and analytics. We've got the intersection between data science, AI, and machine learning. And these are amazing technologies. They're core building blocks. But there are hurdles in delivering business value. And a lot of these relate to the human element, the skills, the ability to interpret, to integrate, the complexity. It's not trivial. And the received wisdom, if we want to provide business process insight to our business process owners, business process operators around the world, is that if we can get all the data from all our applications into a big data lake, cleansed and harmonized, then the business can ask any and all questions, and we're on a winner. Now, that's a great strategy and a great vision, but in terms of complexity, there's a lot going on here. The technologies to deliver that are manifold, and these all have adoption and retirement cycles of their own. So we've got the technologies for the data integration tools to get the data from applications into a data lake. There's the quadrant, the Gartner quadrant for the data lake technologies themselves. There's a segment about data science and machine learning platforms to help derive value from that data. There's a segment of analytics and BI platforms to help put the front end on that. And there's even a magic quadrant for the service providers, the consultants who help understand all this and weave it all together. That's not a short cycle challenge, but that's fine. That's a strategy. But the key question is this whole idea about having all the data and giving it to business. Is that the only challenge? And I want to make a real clear assertion here. There's a fundamental flaw with that. Business questions themselves are difficult. They're not obvious. Let me use an example here. If you were to ask me how many countries are there in the world, I'd say, I don't know, but I can Google it, right? Well, it turns out I'm wrong, because if I try and Google it, there's 6 accurate answers, which all depend on the nuance or context of why I was asking the question and what I want to do with the answer. The same is true in business. When you ask about the customers, number of suppliers, number of orders, is it the number of orders this month, this quarter, this week? Is it the orders we're forecasting, orders we've closed? Is it the ones from a strategic customers or the broad customer base? Have they been fulfilled, or are they waiting fulfillment? Have they been paid for or not? Are those with issues or not with issues? Those ones which require international logistics. There's so many nuances to it. And the question really depends on where you're sitting in the process. So the business questions are tricky, and we haven't cracked that problem. It's not enough just to give all the data to the business people and expect them to be able to ask the questions and answer them. So there is inherently a time to value issue. So even with the best technologies we have today, all these emerging technologies that are out there, we still have this cycle which goes around a pretty classic, dare I say it, waterfall approach, which requires specialist skills to help try and get the information and knowledge out of business process experts' heads, people who are meant to be running the business and don't really want to be in workshops doing this. We need all of this expertise, and we need to develop centers of excellence to be able to take the technology, to be able to take it out to business. And that's a lot of people and a lot of stuff going on. And it takes time to deliver the value. And that time to value question is a critical one, because in Pareto principle, we want it to be fast. So how are we going to solve that problem? Think about the Pareto principle. What are we going to do about that? There's some great red line strategic projects here, but we're working on how to deliver the Pareto principle here and mitigate that value anticipation trough of despair, or VATOD. So that's what we're working on.